to everybody for a while. Anybody have any questions, comments on that?
Well, the important thing that comes out of it is that there were no comments that.
No, there are no negatives at all.
Right.
So,
That's a good thing.
That's a good.
Yeah, that's good, that's bad, that's good.
The next is a status update, J Street Community Center. And I know there's some residents that made inquiry. I hit the forward button with no, there was a later email. I think I hit to everybody. Yeah.
So the update is there were bids available, and the due date to return their proposals is October the 18th. And we'll do a bid opening then and take the next step.
For proposals, and then that contract would have that reviewed by Steve's office in Brian. So in theory, we could be able to consider if there are good proposals and they meet the criteria, we should put that on an agenda for that.
At the next meeting, then.
2 weeks from tonight.
Might last a couple of days.
Yeah.
We're talking about different things the borough might be able to do, but I guess it's all going to depend on that meeting. You know, the borough crew, so they could possibly.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
they could do the outside stuff, the
Yeah.
ramp and things like that, so, and that's why the proposal, the bid was broken into a main proposal for the interior work and then an alternate for just the exterior, so we can, you know, if we find this too costly, we can just have a contractor do the interior work and have Public Works do the exterior.
Right, but we're leaving that both possibilities.
Yes, not the interior. Public Works can't do the interior.
No.
They wouldn't have the time. Is that what you said?
No, it's, I don't think it would be
Yeah.
expeditious use of our trade.
No. Anything else on that? The next, this was a letter that came certified mail return receipt requested from a Melissa Thomas, Chief of Evaluation and Mapping Property Administration, Division of Taxation, State of New Jersey, dated September 29th, and it's Office Evaluation and Mapping. And included was a certification of the table of equalized valuations for all the towns and every county. And we have Ocean County, of course, is one of them, and as is Seaside Park. So it shows our level is similar to many of the other towns. And I guess Brian's aware there's a window of time if a town wanted to appeal their overall assessment. I think it's a 45-day window. It says if you want to file a challenge as a municipality, November 15th, you have to file a complaint with the tax court. And I know I've given a copy of it to Mr. Del Corso, the assessor, for his review as well. I don't know if Karen or anybody's had any updates from him.
I have not.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything.
It's been a long time, right, since they've revalued. It's been
Yeah.
required to do it so often that I think it'd be longer, I'm not sure. You know, Marty?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Supposed to be
Probably over 15 years.
I thought it was supposed to be every 10, but I know it seems like it's over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Sandy. But
And it's interesting that for Ocean County, the average is just over 68, the ratio, and Seaside Park is basically 1 point above that. So, I think it would be better if it was like a much lower number, but it seemed to me would force a reevaluation. And I think we're in line with mostly everyone else.
we'll see when it all shakes out.
Yes, we'll see that.
Anything else? Those are the informational items. On the work session, and item 5, number 1 is Seaside Park Beautifications Committee's request to put a new flagpole and flag at 14th Avenue Boat Ramp, and that's on for consideration Resolution 2023-270 at the regular meeting. And I had forwarded the email that I had gotten. Seems very positive, and a nice upgrade.
That's a wonderful idea. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is an existing flagpole there, and this is the replacement.
Yeah, so,
And I think this is something you could do with the flagpole from 14th, right?
Yeah,
So,
actually, there's members of the beautification committee here now, but I've had some conversations with them, and rather than replace the one with the boat ramp, which is basically there for beach control, it's up when the boat ramp is staffed and it's down when it's not, we suggested moving it next to the gazebo, between the gazebo and the pier. And the committee, I spoke to Maureen, and they had a committee meeting on Tuesday. They are all in agreement with that as well, so have that nice American flag flying there.
It's going to be a nice photo.
And
Maybe you could even put a Seaside Park flag there.
well, that was their suggestion, the
Yeah.
boat ramp, that's just up when it's open and down when it's not, that's what a Seaside Park flag.
Yeah.
Are you on that committee?
No, I
Yeah, it is on track.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
I think that's wonderful.
And we don't have to get the state approval like in.
Exactly.
35, that everybody tried to.
We can do it tomorrow.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah, they did kind of went
Ridiculous, yeah.
nowhere fast.
No, not fast, Dr. Miller.
Went nowhere slowly.
No, you're right.
so that one I put on the agenda for action this evening. Any other comments? It's on the regular
That's a
meeting.
good thing.
Item E is discussion of the purchase of 2024 Ford F-150 4x4 extended cab NJ State Contract Fleet 00212. That too is on for the regular meeting as Resolution 259.
And this is for Department of Public Works.
So,
This
water
stems-
course.
This stems from 2021, actually. We ordered this truck, talked about it, amongst us in council, approved it, and because of COVID, I don't know, some kind of a microchip or something, I don't know, we couldn't get, so we couldn't order the truck.
Good place to do it.
Okay. So, this has been approved, this has been in the works a long time, it's in the budget, we planned for this.
Okay.
I may say something, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. I've been put in for a truck for the lifeguards for 2 years, been approved by 2 different councils in the budget 2 different times. It never got the truck, and all of a sudden, this is an emergency. I'm not seeing the emergency on this. We can't get the truck for the lifeguard, but all of a sudden we get a truck for the waterworks? I'm not in favor of it.
I don't think 2 years is really,
Look at, yes, you're wrong.
I wouldn't say it's an emergency.
Well, we've passed it in the budget twice. Right,
I don't know if it was, well,
we passed it in the budget, you know that, though.
there was never a resolution.
I think it was. But anyway, that's how I feel about it.
It was like a $24,000 original purchase, which would have been stripped down, and when we looked at it last year, and I think even prior to that, it exceeded like 45 or 50,000. And DPW had an extra vehicle that was absolutely adequate
Okay.
to service what they needed for the tournaments and the few things that they needed. It's a much, you're talking apples and oranges in my view, as far as
And you're
function
welcome
and
to use
daily
it.
use and what have you,
Okay.
so.
I'll disagree with that,
I know you
Councilman.
will, but that's okay, I'm just letting you know.
Any other questions or comments? The truck issue that is on for the regular meeting, Resolution 268. And the C, there are 2 change orders for the DOT reconstruction grants that we had received. And one's for H Street, one's for G Street on the Bay side. And the one street came in, the overall project is $11,743 more than what had been in the original estimate and with the NJDOT. And the G Street came in $23,755.19 for Bird's Bath.
Yeah, we did this,
Sounded like wishful.
we did this as a tandem, project and, by design, but there were two every year we apply for grants, you all know. And we, designate where we want the money to go, and so we've been working on this for how long? Years and years, June knows. And, so we did them together. One company did it, and it turned out, I think it turned out nicely. So we did it all together. There were actually 4 sources of funding. There were the New Jersey DOT grants, there was the county, the borough, and we used money from the community development block grants, the CDBG. And that made this whole thing happen, and overall, it's just about at the very end. In fact, all we have now is, I guess, maintenance bonds, if they're not already in place. And it's, the net result is that it costs, $12,000 less for the borough.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So we got more money back.
So that too is on for action at the regular meeting. Any other questions, council, comments? And item E is discussion of authorizing an advisory subcommittee consisting of the mayor, the council president, and another council member, along, and it was worded with the assistance of either law firm. I've spoken to Mr. Zabarski today, and I believe their firm is familiar with this, he said. And they placed a call to the attorney for Toms River, and it deals with the prepared settlement between the DEP and BASF. And Save Barnegat Bay has filed an appeal of that settlement, and Toms River Township is also involved in that. And as you know, BASF is the successor corporate entity to what had been the Ciba-Geigy Corporation. And that's where some of the issues lie. Long ago, Seaside Park was, as you know, one of the original litigants that brought this to the attention of the county, along with La Valette, and eventually the county joined with us and a whole host of environmental groups, and that eventually led to the successful shutting down of the pipeline, which had been leaking pollutants into the bay, into the groundwater, Toms River, and out into the ocean. So you fast forward to this last summer, the DEP entered into this settlement with BASF, and La Valette and Seaside Park were not noticed as to the settlement. And Save Barnegat Bay learned of it, and they became involved and had the hearings that we've been involved with and participating. The DEP still went ahead with the settlement, and that's time period it was entered into, and now it's under appeal by Save Barnegat Bay. So I know the council president and I have been on the Bayfront committee together, and this is obviously front and center of one of the issues as to the Bayfront, and we invite at least one other council member to be participating. I know everyone's been very interested, obviously, in this issue, so I don't know.
What do you anticipate the subcommittee needing to do and the time commitments to it?
I don't know when the first scheduled meeting is, but I just, in a totally unrelated meeting I just was at, there was several senators there. The issue came up with Save Barnegat Bay is there. It's an unrelated issue right now. And they had no upcoming meeting scheduled with Toms River. But what they talked about, these weren't the president or the leader of Safe Barnegat Bay, but they anticipated a meeting with the towns, Lavalette, Seaside Park in particular, and what involvement we might consider doing with them. Whether it's just reporting back to get the whole settlement to our council so we can look at it. What should be in that settlement are some kind of restitution for Seaside Park, and that's not in that settlement, and that could include the Bayfront project. It could include SAB, which is directly related to Barnegat Bay's health and future. That's what Save Barnegat Bay was hoping that we'd consider, and that would be front and center with some of the experts that we're talking with. One of the aspects of the settlement is 250 acres are to be carved out and given to BASF to be sold to developers. And that's one of the most egregious aspects of the settlement. They
left that out of
As
the
opposed to zoning it to Tom's
There
River.
are a lot of options that, and that was never envisioned back when we had the original Barnegat Bay Advisory Committee as to Sebagaiga. That was never on the table. The EPA chaired it, and the cleanup was contemplated to be at least 80 to 100 years. And now we're this 30 years later, so,
And then they want to be done with it in 20 years?
yep.
Back from now.
This is then the proposed settlement, that would be they wipe their hands of it, walk
20 years
away.
from now. Now, I'm a little confused though, because, it's Tom's River, Dover Township, Tom's River, whatever, as we call it. At the time, it was Sebagaiga and Dover Township, but, so now this is but this settlement's between DEP and their successors, right?
Yeah.
So where does Tom's River come into this? I mean, I see it went before the planning board and zoning board, so they're aware of this.
They said that they weren't consulted as a governing body either.
Why aren't they joining this?
Oh, they definitely are.
So you'd be joining Lavalette and Tom's River?
We're not joining
Well,
at this stage,
we're talking
reporting
about
this governing body, yeah, might talk about it.
So it's not just us and Lavalette, it's us, Lavalette, to Tom's River Township.
Definitely. Tom's River is, I believe it's public, they're absolutely committed to it. I don't know
I
what
know
way.
Greenpeace, I remember, we surfing the computer growing up, we used to get sick all the time,
Yeah.
And then Greenpeace came out and plugged up that also was a effluent pipe.
Yep.
Yeah, and we used to come home with sore throats all the time, earaches, all kinds of stuff. I mean, still here.
That's why you're that way.
Yeah. But it's, so we used to get sick all the time, but I don't want to be on this committee.
I mean, I'm happy to do it. That's why I was just asking about the time commitment and if these are all
It
during,
remains to be seen.
during the
mean,
day.
I think
I'll
once
make
we have
myself
that committee,
available if I
we'll be
can.
able to get the copy of all the paperwork. It's going to be voluminous. I know that. I've seen it.
So someone should like to read, to be on the committee.
I'd like to know what Tom's River has to do with it, because it came out, that pipeline was out of Orton Beach,
Yep.
and that's their property. So, I don't know, are they just quiet about this whole thing?
They're not now. I don't know if they were during their objection is to the hearing process. I think that it didn't include them.
What are their intentions? I mean, is that what, it's saying here that?
They want that 270 acres.
Oh, they definitely are objecting, yeah.
Oh, they are, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just,
Absolutely.
I didn't quite get that out.
State got $500,000 and Tom's River got nothing.
Yeah.
That one article wasn't complete,
It wasn't all completely conclusive, was it?
but they should have certainly kept all of the parties originally involved
Right.
as a part of the settlement, which would have given us have some kind of a settlement in part of this.
No, we should have been included,
Sure.
the borough of Seaside Park.
Oh, for
Yeah, I
sure.
mean,
But
it's-
so should have Tom's River and,
Yeah.
and all of us.
Absolutely.
Berkeley, probably.
No, I know,
Happy to be there with you guys.
I know Matt and I have gone to a lot of these meetings and not necessarily on this topic, but on all the overall Bay meetings. I think it's real important. And what you're talking about was, we were all involved.
Oh, this is
I
so
mean, I know there was a group, I was honored, I had just been in practice, and a whole group of us got to represent the divers, and I represented one of the Greenpeace divers, and we exchanged Christmas cards. In the recent years, we have not, but Dan Carluccio was the head of the group, and there were 10 of us, 10 lawyers, and all the charges were thrown out by the court with an admonition, strongly worded admonition.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and all they were doing was doing what should have been done years earlier.
Yeah, it's been a long time, long time.
You're right on the
A lot of
money.
players are dead now, though, you know? A lot of the board of directors and everything.
So what I know Matt and I can reach out to whether we need one individual, or each time if we have a startup meeting, we'll see schedules. I know we've had
That's fine.
Marty, Gina, Bill, I've seen everybody at meeting along the way at some point.
The only thing is, dates on meetings are different, that's
And,
the problem for me.
Yeah, Tom Zimmer hasn't said when they would like to talk, and I say Barnegat Bay has a team of lawyers, I know that, and an expert witness. But one of their points is restitution, and that's where we should be at the table.
Yes.
And that's on Resolution 271 for the regular meeting. Those were the items that I had. Does anyone else on the council have any other items?
I don't have another item. Can I just go back, just to make sure I understood too, on this valuation mapping thing? Only because that first paragraph talks about that this is the factor in a regional school district cost. So if these are higher, is the anticipation that our regional taxes will go up accordingly, the same percent? Do we know?
I think if you get reevaluated, then it's impacted.
If the property values go up, the tax bill will go
Well,
up.
it's supposed to equalize everybody, you know, why the new houses, you know, the new houses might have cost more to build than the old houses next to it, and it just, they come up with a tax, they come up with a valuation, and then you have the budget, and then you divide the budget by the overall valuation in the town per $100 worth of value. So it's kind of a step along the way. You don't really know that right away. Then it equalizes, or
Well, I can't imagine it's gonna go down.
it's countywide. So,
I
you know.
I understand it's the count, I'm just, I guess going by what it's saying here in that very first paragraph, that's what they're calling out. So I just think we should be prepared for that, especially as we talk about, you know, the tax stuff when we talk about budgets for next year. It's potentially that the regional portion could be higher for us. Right, I mean, I don't know, I was just asking as clarification, because they highlight that there. Be advised that it's an important factor in the appointment of your regional school district costs.
I mean, we definitely can put
Effective
it on for
2024
discussion
budgets.
again. The deadline doesn't happen until the 15th.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who was looking at what other action there was for us to take on it. I don't know that we could do anything,
No.
really.
Good talk with the auditing firm. Well, they might have some input.
Okay. I'll
I
follow.
mean, the way I read it, if we don't get reassessed, there's no new impact or additional impact to central regional taxes.
Central regional, maybe not, well, it's price per, you know.
Well,
per
because that's part of
$100
the
worth value.
formula.
Yeah, it's the formula, that's my
I mean, the
point.
school
But that's a little
formula,
different, that's the school funding formula. This is, you know,
Yes.
there are three parts to our tax base, and that, you know, into our tax bill, and that's the two of them, 2 out of the 3 anyway, are going to be affected.
Yeah, I mean, the local school tax, but the bigger one is the central regional.
It's the central one, I'm really,
Well, there's the county tax, actually. It's the county tax,
Well, that
the
too.
school tax, and the local tax. They make up our tax bill.
This is true. But they're basing the amount of money we pay Central Region on the value of the houses in Seaside
right,
Park.
that was my,
The way the school formula is,
And the amount of students we send.
if other towns go down in evaluation and ours goes up, we get it even harder.
Relative.
Yeah,
correct.
yes.
But there's been a lot of building over in,
Oh, yeah.
Dover Township
Yeah.
as well, Berkeley Township as well, the other sending districts.
We'll see.
So
Okay.
you don't know. I mean, you know.
Exactly,
Seaside Heights,
Ocean,
yeah.
Seaside Heights looks like it's going up.
Seaside Heights and Ocean Gate and, what's the other one?
Island Heights.
Yeah, Island Heights, yeah.
Okay.
Mayor, I have
The
a
Ocean Gate is 58.
F, I hope I have an F. You know, it's almost November, as sadly as it is, but we're into October pretty deeply. And there aren't many months left, but in the beginning of the year in our budget, we set aside about $1 million toward the parking lots, 1, 2, and 3. More importantly, I believe, 2 and 3 on either side of the bathhouse. And I don't want to see that money not get used. And we've got a lot of projects going on, but, the line shares with T&M, we have three engineers. T&M, we have RV, well, they're still active in some of the things in town. In fact, we're going to be talking about more water stuff potentially with them. And this money, I think I would like to have our engineer from CME, I would like to propose that we do this, so he can make a proposal. That's Doug Bromeyer, to put a proposal together to somehow get the situation with the parking lot straightened out. Because it's really it's sad to see. I mean, you go up there and it's uneven curbs and the lines are, way too close together, and it's really a haphazard situation. And we could do so much better. It's something people see when they come into town, and I'd really like to get this thing started, at least in the planning stages. I won't be here for the rest of it, but I would like to start the planning stages, and I think that firm personally would be a good one to do it. That's what I'm proposing, that we authorize CME to provide a proposal for the reconstruction of lots 2 and 3 at the ocean. That's my proposal.
Weren't we supposed to locate the plans that were already drawn?
Yeah, that's part of it, though. That's part of it. But I want to get this started. I mean, they're out there, and
But I thought if we already have the plans.
yeah, but the plans were for, if you remember, I don't know if you do, but those plans were...
Drainage.
Nancy would remember.
Stormwater
I
drainage.
believe. Yeah, stormwater drainage, they were putting like culverts or something in, but that was a long time ago. Things have changed. I just think you can use that to speed up the process, but I just want to get it moving. And we talked about it at our meeting a little bit. We touched upon it.
We did.
And so I thought we kind of agreed here that I would burn it across the rest of the council and see what they said, right?
We did. I thought we were locating the plans.
Well,
That was
yeah,
my
but
take on it.
I'm just throwing it out there now.
Who wasn't that?
I want to get it started.
RV did the original plan?
Was it?
It was before my time.
Yeah, but it was there was some stuff going on at the time about, God, what was that organization called, with school funding or something, and it was kind of, I don't know, I forget, I wasn't really involved with it, but
The
I
plan's
know,
designed to capture a grant. I mean, that's what I've heard. I wasn't here either, obviously, but.
It was at one point.
sort of.
It was designed to catch the rainwater, so it didn't come down the block.
And there's a grant tied to it.
Part of it was, part of it
Part
was.
of it, but we may still have to retain the water in some fashion.
We may, but we don't know that until we get this ball rolling. I'd like to get it designed, since the money is here and now, we have a few meetings left till the end of the year to get this thing, to get it started, and I just.
I have no preference on one engineer, I'm saying.
I just figured, you look at all the engineers that we have out there doing different work, I think it would be just a fair option. Otherwise, I mean, we'd have to go around for every single project we have in town and make sure every one of them puts in 3 bids. Otherwise, it's not fair. So I just thought, we've given so much work to the other two that I just think it would be, perfectly a good firm. It's a well-renowned firm with, many competent people that work there, planners and everything you need. So I just thought, I'd just like to propose that we at least get it rolling and have someone, CMA I would prefer. Then I've seen the work, I think they do a professional job. They worked with the planning board for years, and I think they've done a yeoman's job, and I just think it'd be a good choice.
And this was actually funded in 2022, I believe.
Yeah, okay, well,
In one of
So
the
you already bought the
proposals going back, I feel like there was a portion of the boardwalk proposal that incorporated that.
there was at one
But
time.
did we ever see, I kind of forget that.
That
There
was-
We put that out there at one point to incorporate those two together.
Yeah, but I think that got pulled somehow. That
It
was-
did, but I wonder if there was part of that proposal that would give us some insight as to what the cost.
I don't know, but that's why we're paying this guy to look into all this stuff, and environmental impact, safety, conformity with current regulations, and maybe even you could look into something, maybe, you talk about charging stations. Well, maybe there might be some of money available, I don't want all charging stations, but there might be some money available to help pay for something. I mean, but you have to have somebody competent, experienced in this field, looking at it.
And if we have existing plans, I'll track those down.
Yeah.
Give them, that might help with the design phase too, so.
Yeah. It was also for the council really to make this decision.
What committee was this under, the land use?
Public Works.
No, Public Works.
Mhm.
Well, there was plans, I remember, Matt's right. We were gonna consolidate the boardwalk, and we were gonna do the boardwalk and the 2 parking lots.
Briefly,
That was
yes.
back in 2019. We
Something
got
like
together
that,
with
yeah.
that bond date.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
They were going to do the cement boardwalk.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that was just,
We were talking about it.
yes, yeah, so there should be something out there.
one option.
Did they say, I wasn't there, was there any hints that might be eligible as part of the boardwalk project?
I think it was really more for the bonding, was it? that was
Yeah, the
for?
bonding.
And then, but what happened was,
No, that was.
the meeting wasn't necessarily
different
with
thing.
all of us involved, there were some other added elements that were kind of really unnecessary.
We were looking at
I
improving.
recall, so I kind of was like,
Remember,
yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
they were talking about another ramp
Yeah.
on Fourth, and, it just was,
Bathrooms and
it
things like
wasn't
that.
really
Yeah.
thought out well at all.
Yeah, I remember now it's
It
all
was
coming
behind
back now.
us.
Yeah, so but it was, but the thinking was sound in that we want to improve the look and of the ocean and our waterfront.
I agree, I'm in favor of it.
Any comments, anyone else?
We could put it on for a resolution if you like.
Sure.
If we, it's up to you guys.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah. I agree. We got a proposal and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Any other work session items from anybody? If not, we'll go into the audience. Any public comments on work session items? If anyone has any, you give your name and address for that. Yes, sir?
Sorry, I'm a little slow.
My name is Mike Spadafino. I live at 15 Ninth Avenue. council candidate also. I like the idea of the F-150 truck, sounds great, but I was just wondering about the utilization of that truck. Is it designed specifically only for waterworks chief to use it? Is it a utility vehicle? And when it's not necessarily being used there, why wouldn't it be available for other departments to use, or will it be? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Or is it sole use only?
No, they share trucks.
They share trucks.
At Public Works and
Water
Water and
Department.
Sewer.
Great,
And,
that's
and,
wonderful.
and you know what, we have 3 trucks right now that I think we paid $1 for. Well, yeah, but they're
Pretty small.
rusted out. That was from a Sandy deal, I think, and so they're not reliable at all. So we need this truck, we talked about it 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
I agree 100%, and the money's there, so.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know that it wasn't just only for water department, when
No, we
towns
should,
will interchange and use each other's departmental vehicles whenever possible or needed.
Yes.
So, good. The other thing was that, follow up on what Councilman Almobile said, last meeting that I was at, that discussion came up about doing the boardwalk. We see that Seaside Heights has decided to apply to have their full boardwalk replaced, and we were gonna look into the possibilities of whether the idea of only taking sections would give us a better opportunity to get the funding, or if, as Mr. Amadale said, why don't we shoot for the whole ball of wax? Seaside Heights is doing it, so maybe, maybe want to reopen that discussion.
I believe we changed our direction to include the whole boardwalk
Karen,
after that meeting.
No,
You wanna take that?
we're asking for everything, entire boardwalk.
Yeah, we changed our position.
Yeah.
Good, good, I'm very happy to see that.
stars, the moon, everything.
Everything against the wall.
Stars, the
Any
moon.
other up to?
Jim Kuznetsky, 114H. And I do have to say first, H Street has not flooded since it was fixed, so I'm very happy about that.
All right.
I was listening to what you were saying about the different projects, and I know that over the 8 or 9 years that I've been coming to council meetings, there have been RVE or CME or whoever has, and we have paid them money to bring up these proposals. There's at least 2 from RVE on the parking lots, because there was a big one and then there was another one smaller than that. There's at least 1 on the full boardwalk. My question is, we paid these companies for these proposals. What are we doing with them? Why, if we've already gotten a proposal for the boardwalk and we've paid for it, why do we have to go out and get another proposal and pay for it? Can't we use some of what we already have? I mean, we must have files of all these proposals that we have paid for. What are we doing with them?
Answer that if you like.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So as it relates to the boardwalk, RVE did do not a full construction design. We don't pay for proposals. They give us proposals. If we accept the proposal, then we'll pay them for their work.
Right.
So, but we do have work product from RVE for the boardwalk, which we have given to T&M, that's going to help them with their design. So we're repurposing, so T&M doesn't have to start from scratch. So whatever we have paid for in terms of work product, we are giving that, if a different engineering firm is going to do that project now, we're giving them that work.
So if you have a project that you may have appeared or worked on before you go out for bid, you go and check your files to see if you have a bid already, or a plan already?
Yes,
Okay.
We did some of that with the marina recently,
yes.
for old plans that were, 25 years old. We pulled them out and used them as
Find the wells.
as reference,
Hidden
yeah,
wells.
find wells,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, to get that thing finally resolved. That was something that was hanging on for years and years and years and years. But now it's resolved.
Any other comments on work session? Nancy?
Nancy Gorge, 33-6. With regard to the parking lots, were you talking about releasing the bans? Because in 2022, that was one of the bond anticipation notes for $950,000 that you approved.
Maybe.
Well, I'm reading it.
Yeah. Good.
It's 2022, there it is, let's see. Okay, here it is. 2022-18, providing for parking lot improvements and appropriating $1 million therefore and so forth, the issuance of $950,000 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the costs.
Yeah.
So what were you asking for? When the money
I'm
was or to do it?
I'm asking to do it, to move it out of there.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Any other comments on work session items? Yes.
Maureen O'Hare, 1212 South Bayview, Seaside Park. I'm here representing the Beautification Committee. Maggie spearheaded this project for the flag, which we tried for 14th and Central, and now we're moving it down to the 14th Avenue Pier. And what I talked to Karen before, I'm sorry, I talked to Karen today, and he said that it would be between the gazebo and the pier, and we have the pole, we have the flag, we want to put a solar light on the bottom so it can be on 24/7. We'll take care of all of that, and then with the other pole that's already there, we thought instead of another American flag, let's put either a flag of a boat or a state flag or a Seaside Park flag. So we thank you for your considerations and your help in finally getting a flag.
Thank you guys for all the work.
You made it. Any other comments on work session? Yes, Michelle?
Michelle Miller, 1500 Lake Avenue. You guys are talking about representing the town, and I'd like you to remember that we're talking about the gateway to Island Beach State Park and just the way things look now. You have the discussion of the 2024 Ford for a good amount of money. It's like, what happened with the crescents? It's like, this is another thing that seems to be, up in the air, up in our cloud, and I don't understand why something can't be started. In the spring, we agreed that we wouldn't do anything until the fall. We put out plans, and we're still nowhere near getting anything done. It's like I'd love to hear your discussion about it. If it's something that you really don't want to do, then let us put it to rest. But we've had a lot of support since 2017.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it at the last meeting.
Waiting for the
So,
state.
yes, it's not the town, it's permitting between state DEP and DOT. DOT because it's their road, and DEP because some of the changes require making some surfaces that are currently impervious, and so we've applied for the permit, and there's a lot of DEP and DOT don't even talk to each other.
They don't talk to each other. I guess, but what we've backed down is somebody had suggested urns, somebody had suggested semi-pervious pavers. We backed off. Eric said that he'd like grass. Okay. Everybody knows we don't want the stones. I forget what year it was, but we have the okay for us to do landscaping. It's like, we've got the okay, we don't need new.
Michelle, we have, but one of the, as Karen was talking about, one of the problems, and you weren't here at the meeting, we discussed this a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
whatever. And I don't remember specifically everything we said, but one of the obstacles, if I may, is that if you disturb over an acre of ground, then it falls into a category and it needs a major, it's called a major redevelopment or something like that. I forget the exact words, but when that happens, you open the floodgates to
Even if
lot
you do
of
it in
regulations.
sections?
Yes, you cannot disturb more than, I think it's an acre.
It is an acre, yeah.
And then there's also,
Stormwater,
if you just, a quarter of an acre or something like that. It's very specific, but we can't do the whole thing.
Well,
And
I mean,
So
then
we
this
have
is,
to do pieces of it.
right, but
So that-
this is good information,
And-
because I'm quite sure we could come up with saying, okay, we only want a parcel here and some.
Well, I think that was the resolution of that meeting, and that should have gotten back to you. I don't know who we charged with, we'd have to look at the
yes, you felt that,
at the
Betty turned
film.
around.
Yeah.
She felt that, she went like this.
The clerk lady back here.
Okay.
But I mean, it says exactly what happened at the meeting, and it was spoken about, it was addressed, but maybe not to your satisfaction, probably not necessarily mine either, but those are the rules we have to abide by, and it was pretty clearly spelled out at that meeting. I can't recite.
Okay, but, representing the Garden Club and the Beautification Committee, so, if anybody could have spoken to any one of, as a matter of fact.
It's on the minutes, I forget exactly what happened, but we did speak
Well, we
about
could
it.
come up with another idea,
I
even
think it
if.
was, Eric was even here in the audience, wasn't he? And we talked, I think Eric and Josh were here because they were.
Jimmy
Jimmy Dulce, I think that was the night.
Okay.
And we were going to somehow get together with you lovely ladies at the Garden Club.
We've been in albatross here, but, we're willing to compromise is the bottom line. It's just that something, whether it's in small parcels or it's a piece of it, I bet you us ladies could come up with something.
And we agreed at that meeting, we even said you guys could. So we said, well, let's give it back to these ladies, let's all talk about it and then come up with something good, because they're perfectly capable
Well,
women.
I'm also very much in favor of proceeding ahead with some of the projects that you're talking about. I do have one question about the advisory subcommittee. I thought we had one with Chuck Appleby and you guys.
That's the President's Bayfront Committee. It's a different committee. It's still
Totally
in place.
different then.
Yeah, totally different.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. We need it before we get another storm.
I know.
Thank you.
Any other comments on work session? Hearing none, I close the, oh, yeah, Nelson?
That's nice. Stars.
Nelson Rosenthal, 122 M Street. Councilman Fritz, you are dead on.
Who's that?
Exactly 100% with that proposal. It's unsightly up there, the concrete, a lot of it is cracked, dangerous. Some of that metal from those old water meters is popping through. A nice clean coat of black asphalt would be wonderful over there. And see what they're gonna do with the curbs, And I like your idea about putting charging stations under there, because maybe we can get some money from state.
And I think that's above flood level up there too.
It's a great idea.
We already have a commitment for, depends on the council, $250,000 or $500,000 grant to the town for charging
And that can
stations.
be placed where we want it. those stations.
Not where we want it. That's one of the eligible sites.
It is.
Ocean side of Central.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm with you, bro.
Any other comments on work session items? If not, we'll entertain a motion to close the work session and take a brief moment and go into the regular meeting. Motion by Councilmember Conrad, second by Councilmember Kraft. Anyone opposed? Aye. Stand adjourned.
as I also was saying, don't forget the signs up.